In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the column shortcodes that are included with the Equity Framework. For this video, I'm using the must-see theme, which is built on the Equity Framework, and therefore those shortcodes are available. So I'm going to switch over to the dashboard of my site, and I've created a test page where I'm going to use those column shortcodes. Now to find those shortcodes, go up to the admin bar in the dashboard of your site and click on Theme Setup Guide. This will open up the theme documentation. Just click on the one for shortcodes, and let's scroll down to where the ones are for columns. There we go. Here it is for columns. Now before we get into the shortcodes, these columns in the Equity are built on what's called the foundation grid. So in order to understand how to use these columns, we're going to take a look at that grid. So I'm going to change tabs over to the grid. The foundation grid is actually 12 columns across, 12 grid columns across for your content area. So when we specify columns in our shortcodes, we're referring to grid columns and not the actual columns of text we're going to be using. It sounds a little confusing, but once you see the shortcodes in action, you'll understand. So let's start. We're going to create 2 columns of text on our page. So let's go to our page. Now for our columns, we have to start all of our columns with row, with the row shortcode at the beginning and /row at the end. Now in between is where we put our columns. So we're going to do 2 basic columns, each of equal width, and according to our foundation grid, if we want them equal width, then each column is 6 grid columns. So we're going to put column, we're going to put large. Now there's different parameters for these shortcodes. If you look through here, you have small, medium, and large based on the screen size. We're just going to set the screen size for a desktop computer, which is large. You can set one parameter for a large screen and a different one for small. If you want maybe 3 columns across for on a desktop, but you only want it 1 column across for small, you can set different parameters for that. But for this video, we're just going to have equal columns set for the desktop. So we're going to have column large equals 6. And that means we want 6 grid columns for each one of my 2 text columns. Okay. And now we're going to put our closing bracket, and then we're going to put the text we want to use. This is my first column of text. And then we put a closing column shortcode, /column. And then we do the same thing for our second column. And remember, these are inside these row shortcodes. Column large equals 6. This is my second column of text, and put the closing column. Okay, now let's go ahead and save the draft for this and take a look at it. And there we go. We've got our 2 columns. It's our first column, and there's our second column. But this gives you the option by using the foundation grid of having unequal columns. Maybe you want just a small left-hand column and a wider right-hand column. You just want some little information maybe about yourself here, and then a lot more content here. So by using the foundation grid, we can change that. So say we only want this to be 3, and then we want the difference in the foundation grid. Remember, if I use 3 for the left hand column, then I'm going to use 9 for the right hand. So let's change that to 9, and Save the draft and reload this page. You'll see now I've got a smaller column here on the left with my first column and a larger one here on my right. Now, like I said, you can set different sizes for mobile devices. So say I want them equidistant on a mobile device. I could have small equals 6, because maybe that left-hand column was too small on a mobile device. So I'll make them equidistant just on a mobile device. So I can do it that way as well. And that won't affect the layout here on my page, only if I'm viewing it on a mobile device. Or you can have them just have 2 columns on your desktop, but you just want 1 column on your mobile device. You can set small equals to 12. So it takes up the full space on the phone. Your first column takes up the full space on the phone, and then below that is your second column. So you could do it that way as well. So this is how you use the column shortcodes that are built into the Equity theme.